Hi, my name is Gretchen Friborg and I love compost. One of my main passions and goals in life is finding new ways to reduce my waste contribution. I'm in no way producing zero waste, but every day I'm working towards finding a new way to live sustainably. My inspiration comes from Lauren Singer, CEO of Package Free Shop and an advocate of zero waste. In college, she decided to go zero waste and learned how to make her own products. Now she produces less than a mason jar of trash a year. That's ideal. However, my experience with sustainability has been different. My love for compost started in high school with some field and natural history courses, and eventually led me to build a fully functioning compost bin for my school's garden. In doing so, I learned that many people don't even know what compost is. So, what exactly is compost? Cool, great. It looks like kind of like a pile of dirt, but it's actually a nutrient-rich soil, nicknamed black gold by many gardeners, and acts as an amendment to the soil. It can help rebuild and restructure the soil and grow strong, healthy plants. Piles of food scraps, leaves, and other organic matter can go into compost. It's necessary that they do because let's say this pile of food scraps was left in a landfill. To be broken down properly, it needs oxygen, which it can't find. And as the food decays, it produces an insane amount of methane gas, contributing to global warming. So, what's the issue? Well, food is constantly being dumped into the landfill, and restaurants are largely at fault. They produce between 22 and 33 billion pounds of food waste each year, which is just sitting under piles of trash, breaking down into methane gas, which has no benefit to anyone. How many times have you gone to a restaurant, ordered a large plate of food with maybe some sides, and at the end of the meal had leftover food that you decided not to take home? Where does that food go? That food is dumped into the garbage bin, along with plastic wrappers and containers and other inorganic materials. Then it's put into dumpsters along with piles of waste to be transported to the landfill just so it can be buried and forgotten about. This vicious cycle is only adding harmful gases to the atmosphere and filling up space in the landfill until eventually we'll have nowhere to put our trash. This is where composting comes in. Since restaurants are a large contributing factor to food ending up in landfills, and they produce a lot of food waste per year, they need to change. Restaurants need to be required to compost because not only will the environment benefit, but the restaurant does too. When restaurants invest $1 into reducing their food waste, they save $7 in operating costs. Any way to save money is and should be a restaurant's goal. So, why wouldn't they want to implement composting if it's going to save the company money overall? The biggest complaint about composting is pest control. Restaurants are already dealing with the stress of ensuring that there are no infestations of any kind in their kitchen. This is severe enough that if there are infestations, it can shut the restaurant down completely. However, this issue isn't the end all for composting in restaurants. It can be worked around through implementing more creative ways to manage pests. For example, 95 Ocean Restaurant uses bug lamps to draw bugs away from food and trash and towards the light, which avoid infestations. Another argument is that it just simply cannot be done. There are too many moving parts, and the whole system already functions this way, yada yada yada. However, that's just not true. And I'd like to point your attention to the Wolf Cafe located in St. Louis, Missouri. The Wolf Cafe is a 5-star member of the Green Dining Alliance, which means they practice excellent sustainability processes, including sourcing local produce, offering vegan and vegetarian meals, and the implementation of compost in their kitchen. The Wolf Cafe has a big yellow bin in the middle of their kitchen that the food scraps go in. They serve to-go containers, silverware, and to-go cups that can be composted, meaning they're not styrofoam. So, what that means is that the only thing that can't go in the compost bin is tinfoil. Because the Wolf Cafe composts so much, the kitchen staff might only have to take out 2 bags of trash per night, dependent upon if they fill the bins. One is recycling and one goes to the garbage. Compared to taking out upwards of 5 bags of trash at some other restaurants, employees get a huge break. So there's the proof. The Wolf Cafe is a fully functioning restaurant that sources local produce, accommodates all diets, and composts in their kitchen. Composting in a restaurant is literally being done in an effective manner. There is no reason why all restaurants can't do what the Wolf does. So, where do we go from here? We've seen that it's possible to compost in a kitchen and that it's effective in saving companies money, reducing waste, and keeping organic matter out of the landfills. But now it's time to get everyone else on board so that we can reduce the waste that's just being piled and piled up. The switch has to start with the Food and Drug Administration. As the group that enforces restaurant policy, they must make a change to the policy and enforce that each restaurant practices composting. And this is a change that can't wait any longer. Sustainability is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the needs of the future. Our present need is to reduce the food waste in the landfill and use it to benefit the soil instead. And that's why composting is so important. It's the proper reuse of the food we waste.